Weapon Pharmaceuticals in association with Higher Secondary Principals Forum.
Namaskar and Yevkar. Friends, this is the subject of political science, and as you must have already known by now that we are doing the book that is the Contemporary World Politics. Okay, this is the book, and today we will be focusing on chapter number 3, that is US Hegemony in World Politics. But before that, let me just take you on just a review of what the first two topics were in fact. The first topic was the Cold War era. In the Cold War era, we have seen how after the end of the first or rather the Second World War, we see that two power blocks have emerged. One power bloc is the communist bloc headed by Soviet Union and her allies, primarily in Eastern Europe, and on the other hand we had United States of America and her allies in the Western world, and they are the capitalist powers. And as we have seen the manifestation of the Cold War leading to the peak of the Cold War, that is the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1961, followed by the emergence of the third world countries, that is the non-aligned movement, and finally we have seen how the Soviet Union, which was such a big military power and they had a big new military arsenal, how it collapsed in 1991, following which we had the emergence of a new world order. And now in 1990, when Soviet Union, one of the superpowers, was extinguished from the planet, and we had around 15 new countries. In the place of one country, we had 15 new countries. And now these 15 countries and the Soviet Union place was taken by Russia in the United Nations Security Council, the permanent member. Now today we will be looking at this aspect, that is the aspect of the US hegemony in world politics, is a unit 3. And this particular unit 3, which is there in political science, it is included for 5 marks in the board exam, and also in the formative exam it has around 3 to 4 marks. But knowledge and learning is extremely important, dear friends. And as we commence with this topic, we have to understand what this hegemony stands for. You will all be interested to know as to what is hegemony. Hegemony means dominance. You know, मी म्हणतात कोकणीन दादागिरी म्हणना, विसे दादागिरी म्हणटा पळय, म्हणजे दादागिरी करता म्हणटा पळय. So when country becomes powerful, militarily it becomes powerful. It tries to take the shape of a hegemon. Hegemon means dominance. It is trying to become dominant in the world arena or world politics. And we all know, dear friends, by this time, as we are in the third unit now, that one of the superpowers, Soviet Union or Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, is not there on this planet as a single unit. In its place, we have 15 countries, and only one superpower remains in its place, that is United States of America. Now, being the sole superpower at the beginning of the last decade of the 20th century. Now, as we have put here, 1990, beginning of a new world order. Now, what is this world order? This world order is the order which is created by United States. Now, it is Hindi, there is a good saying, hum kare so kaida. Means now, in a democratic setup, we all know that United States of America is a democratic country. It is not a communist country. And it is ruling the world with its sheer might. Now, when does a country really become powerful? You will all bear me out on this. First and foremost, it has to have military power. followed by the economic power, and finally the ideological or soft power. We will discuss this later. But as we are taking a stock this topic in a chronological manner, see dear friends, we will move from 1990 to 1993 in this particular topic. And what happened during this period of 4 years period from 1990 to 1993 is what stock we will be taking today in this particular topic in political science. Now, when we just talked about a new world order, now in this world order, as you must have seen earlier, we had the Warsaw Pact, we had the NATO. Now, Warsaw Pact has become history. It has become a thing of the past. It has been replaced by only one military bloc, and that is NATO. And most of the countries, you will wonder as to where the countries have gone, where the countries which were with the USSR went. Did they become communist, or did they remain communist, or did they become capitalist, or what happened to them exactly is the million-dollar question which must be puzzling you right now. So all these countries, they became slowly and steadily, some of them they disintegrated also. We don't have that in our unit here, but they disintegrated in the sense, for example, Czechoslovakia. It split into two countries, Czech Republic and Slovakia. Like that, so many developments happened in Eastern Europe, in countries like Romania, in countries like Hungary, Poland, and so on and so forth. And they all became capitalists, to say, and they had a free market economy. There was a multi-party democracy. So they all became a part of the United States bandwagon, and they become capitalists in their own right. Dear friends, 1990, the beginning of a new world order, wherein we have the United States of America at the top of the pack, and all other countries have to follow the leader. Now, you will ask me question, where is non-alignment? Non-alignment also is there, existing, but it is not gaining in strength as the world is moving towards capitalism. But this phase is a very important phase from 1991 to 1993 for many reasons. We have, as I have written here, operation. Now, this is not operation conducted on the operation table. This operation is a name, is a code name given to a military exercise. Now, this particular, there are 4 operations this unit, for example. One is Operation Desert Storm. One is Operation Enduring Freedom. Third is Operation Infinite Reach. 4 is Operation Iraqi Freedom. So, dear friends, for this particular unit or chapter, as you must, or topic also, we have 4 different operations: Operation Desert Storm, Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Infinite Reach, and Operation Iraqi Freedom. One by one, we will take stock of each one from the examination point of view. Very, very important, and also from the knowledge point of view. Let us start what happened in 1991. But before that, you must have all heard, dear friends, of a country called Iraq and its small neighbor called Kuwait. Now, what did Iraq do with Kuwait, which is a precursor to what happened in 91? In August 1990, the then president of Iraq, Mr. Saddam Hussein, he attacked Kuwait, and within a matter of some minutes, he captured Kuwait and made it its 29th province. Now, dear friends, you all will know that in this democratic age, wherein the respect for democracy is there in the world, you can't just invade another country and make it your province and say that you are the master of that people there. No, you can't do it. So then what happened was, then Iraq had to be driven out of Kuwait. And when Iraq had to be driven out of Kuwait, it reached the United Nations. Now, do you know, dear friends, you must have heard and learned in the civics book or political science book in your school level that there is a organization called the United Nations Organization. We will be doing it later in this subject, in the later topics. But at this juncture, let me tell you that United Nations Organization, which was formed after the end of the Second World War. It was formed on 24th October 1945, to be precise, the date. And that day we celebrate as United Nations Day. So, on 24th October 1945, the organization United Nations formed, and now I have taken it that context just to impress upon you that when Iraq invaded Kuwait, made it its 29th province, then it had to be driven out of Kuwait. So, an United Nations organized structure came in existence. Now, this structure of military existence came into existence where around 35 countries were a part and thousands of troops assembled from different countries all over the world just to drive Iraq out of Kuwait. And that is termed as the first Gulf War. Very, very important to note. The first Gulf War. Now you know Iraq and Kuwait, they are a part of the Middle East, West Asia, Middle East, and you can see it in your atlas, dear friend. After this class is over, open your atlas and do some asynchronous activity. You are learners of political science. So just don't by heart it and write exam. That is also there at the end of the day, but you have to learn something. Where is Iraq placed in the world? Where is Kuwait placed in the world? It is, and then you will know where is America placed in the world? Where is India placed in the world? In the geography. Okay, so 1991, that operation was called Operation Desert Storm. Now you have to remember this for 1 mark. Now why it was called Desert Storm? Because you know the Middle East full is consisting of deserts only. You know, these people are fully desert, they have very less rainfall, and you तुम्ही khajur bhi khala asthalo, khajur, dates म्हणता पळय, dates. Lot of plenty available in this region. Okay, so Operation Desert Storm, also called the first Gulf War, and this was led by America. And there were so many other countries also which were participants in this war or in this effort to drive Saddam Hussein and his team out of Kuwait. I hope you have understood it, dear friends. Okay, so this was 1991. Now, it's a very, very important thing because the next 2-3 years will charter out the map of what happened in the world after Operation Desert Storm took place. Now, after Operation Desert Storm, which was taking place in the Middle East, and it took place in somewhere in around January of 91, and Saddam's men were thrown out of Kuwait. And then what happened was Iraq became little paralyzed. Okay, and then it was the victory of the forces under the UN umbrella, dear friends. Under the, you should remember, very, very important, it was not American forces, it was the United Nations forces. It was the United Nations forces, and they had victory over there, and the victory was achieved within a time frame of only a few days, less than a month, for Saddam Hussein's forces to be thrown out of Kuwait. Then we have to see what exactly happened in the world. In 1991 only, in September, very, very important, in September, see, the date is put 9/11. Now you all know that in America, they put the month first and date later. In India, we put 11 September, 11/9, but in America, 9/11. So the operation, again second operation, Enduring Freedom, took place because of 9/11. Now what happened in 9/11? You will be excited, you will be anxious to know what happened in 9/11. See, in 9/11, there were the hijacking of the aircrafts. See, now little bit of terror is coming. See, you see in the world, there are a lot of groups which are fighting the states or the countries. And in that context, what happened was in the September of 1991, when this global war on terror took place. Global war on terror took place, 9/11, it took place, and it was called Operation Enduring Freedom. There were four aircraft which came and attacked America. And these were all hijacked aircrafts. All were hijacked aircrafts. And these hijacked aircrafts came from all over the world. And then this was a very, very important event. Actually, it took place in 2001. It was called the Global War on Terror. And then following which what happened was, we have to know what happened was, after Operation Enduring Freedom was launched. See, when the attack took place on America, it was called the Global War on Terror. It took place in 2001. And then what happened after that? Before knowing that, we have to know what is the sequence of events. The sequence of events are very, very important. And whenever we want to know the sequence of events, we have to be careful, because as we ought to know that when there is a global war on terror launched, this global war on terror is launched in 2001 by United States and her allies. The date is 9/11. It should read here 2001. It is not 91. It is 2001. This date, you should change it and make it 2001. It's very important that this global war on terror, which took place in 2001, is put up in front before 2001, the Bill Clinton era. Now, you should know that the 9/11 global war on terror, which is followed by the Operation Enduring Freedom, what happened is a very, very important exercise, because who were responsible for the global war on terror? You should be careful, because this aircraft attacking the sole superpower in the world, in United States of America. Sole superpower in the world was United States of America, and that sole superpower in the world was attacked by whom? It's very important to know this. The sole superpower in the world, the United States, was attacked by some terrorists. And you will wonder from where these terrorists came. These terrorists came from Arab countries, and they hijacked 4 aircraft. And you must have heard of World Trade Center. The World Trade Center in New York was attacked by 2 aircraft. The northern tower and the southern tower, both were destroyed. And around 3,200 people lost their lives on 9/11/2001. And then you will be wondering as to what happened after that. What happened after that, you will be wondering. But that we will keep aside little bit, because we have to take a stock, because this is in 2001. Global war on terror is in 2001 and not in 91. It is in 2001. Global war on terror is Operation Enduring Freedom. And we will keep it for the time being, and we will look at 93 to 2001 phase, and then we will go back to the global war on terror, because the global war on terror which was there, the global war on terror and the Operation Enduring Freedom, the freedom of the countries have to be kept. And just as I mentioned now, the terrorists from 4 countries came from 4 different countries, maybe more also countries, from Arab countries they were, and they attacked the United States, the very fabric of the world's oldest democracy. They attacked the United States, and then 2 of the planes, as I have just mentioned, 2 of the planes came and crashed in the two towers, the northern tower and the southern tower of the World Trade Center, destroyed them completely. It was 9 a.m. on 9/11, September 11, 2001. And then what happened was, the follow-up of that, the other two aircraft, one aircraft went and attacked the United States Defense Ministry. Okay, you must have heard, or you must be careful to know that the United States Defense Ministry headquarters is called the Pentagon, because they have a building, it is shape of a pentagon, a five-sided figure, pentagon. So it attacked the Pentagon. That is the nerve center of the US defense. Okay, and the fourth aircraft, dear friends, where did the fourth aircraft go, or where did it crash? The fourth aircraft, dear friends, it was targeted for the US center of power. That's called the Capitol Hill. You must have heard of in Washington, there is a building called Capitol Hill. And in the Capitol Hill, you have the US Congress seat. I mean, like we have in India, Parliament, the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha seats there. In America, in the Capitol Hill, we have in the Capitol Hill the US House of Representatives and the Senate. And the entire thing is called the US Congress. The fourth plane was targeted for the US Congress, but it missed its target. Okay? And where did it land, or it crashed? It crashed in a jungle in Pennsylvania. So, dear friends, now the four aircraft, very, very important from the examination point of view. Discuss, one question comes, discuss 9/11 and global war on terror. Now, the war was launched as called Operation Enduring Freedom. Operation Enduring Freedom. It was in 2001. But before that, we have to see, that came in 2001, this particular episode came in 2001. But we have to see what happened before that, means precursor. We have to see in political history, or we now learn it as political science. We have to see that this, what we are taking up now, why it happened. See, nobody wants terrorism to thrive on this planet, correct? You all will agree with me. Nobody wants terror. People want peace, progress, prosperity. Everybody wants the peace, progress and prosperity to thrive. Nobody wants terror to remain in the world. Understood? Okay, so why this global war on terror took place? Why? Always ask the question why. For that we have to go back in time. This is flashback, we have to go back in time. See, now after this Operation Desert Storm, which took place in 91, which is called the first Gulf War, everything put up on the board. In America, there was a change of guard. In America, there was a change of guard, means there was an election in America in 1992, and Bill Clinton became William Jefferson Clinton became the President of America, United States of America in 1993. He had a tenure of 8 years, 2 terms he had, tenure of 8 years. So, Bill Clinton, when he became the President of America in 1993, okay, after the Operation Desert Storm and after the defeat of the Republican Party, because Bill Clinton belonged to the Democratic Party, and he became the president in 93. He remained the president for 8 long years, 2 terms. Please remember, Bill Clinton's presidency is marked as a very important phase in world political history, because when Bill Clinton became the president of America, his emphasis was not more on defense and military conquest and military armaments and all. It was more for a benevolent purposes, like poverty alleviation or economic progress or health, eradication of certain diseases. So he was more of a benevolent person, more of a outgoing person, and not in terms of expansionism, Bill Clinton. So what happened was, there was an attack of American embassies in Africa, American embassies in countries like Sudan and Tanzania. So these countries, dear friends, you will be wondering as to who attacked these countries, and attacking United States of America. The attack was done by Al-Qaeda. You must have heard of this organization, Al-Qaeda. And this Al-Qaeda organization, it attacked the United States. It attacked the main democracy in the world. And when the attack took place on United States had to respond. And they responded in the form of Operation Infinite Reach, or Infinite Reach, as it is said, Operation Infinite Reach. Now from exam point of view, it may come, what is Operation Infinite Reach stand for? It is an attack on America's sovereignty. And when an attack on America's sovereignty took place, America attacked these countries in Sudan, because American embassies were attacked. See, you know, embassy is a place where the foreign countries' representatives, they run the office and they stay in the embassy. So American embassies were attacked in some countries in Africa, as I just mentioned. So it was, America launched an operation, and the operation was called Operation Infinite Reach. Then it was followed by another Iraqi invasion, which is called Operation Iraqi Freedom. And this took place in 1993 March. 19th March is the date on which this operation was launched, and we have called the code word given is Operation Iraqi Freedom. And it was Iraqi invasion, and this invasion was launched by America and her allies. And dear friends, you have to know one thing, that when this operation Iraqi Freedom was launched, and why it was launched, which is very important to note, because there was a threat perception that Iraq possessed weapons of mass destruction. They were called WMDs, weapons of mass destruction. And weapons of mass destruction had to be stopped, Iraq had to be stopped from using those weapons of mass destruction in the world. And just America used this ploy with her allies to attack Iraq. Iraqi invasion, it is said. And they say, they have called it, America and her allies, Operation Iraqi Freedom. And Operation Iraqi Freedom went to such an extent that Saddam Hussein was overthrown from his seat of power. It's very important to note, dear friends, from an examination point of view and from a learning point of view, that in 1993, this has taken place, Operation Iraqi Freedom. Okay? So now we know very well that what happened the beginning of the new world order in 1990 with the emergence of America as the sole superpower in the world. It's followed by Operation Desert Storm. It's also called the first Gulf War. Then we have seen this global war on terror launched in 2001, because the attacks by various militant organizations, including Al-Qaeda. So America and her allies decided to launch the war on terror. It was called Operation Enduring Freedom, to keep the freedom going in the world. And then Iraq was invaded by America and her allies, and that operation was called Operation Iraqi Freedom. So dear friend, now we have taken a stock of 4 different operations launched by various countries, especially the countries under the banner of America. One is Operation Desert Storm, second is Operation Enduring Freedom, third is Operation Infinite Reach, and fourth is Operation Iraqi Freedom. So these are the various things which we have to see. One very important thing in this particular topic which we have to see is, as I have just mentioned earlier, hegemony. Now in this hegemony, what does this hegemony stand for? Now hegemony, and it's related to power, and then as you see here, hard power, structural power and soft power. Now when we talk about hegemon is one country which is the supreme powerful country in the world, the supreme powerful country in the world. And that supreme powerful country in the world was none other than the United States of America. And the allies, of course, in Western Europe and so many other countries of other regions also joined United States in her quest for destroying the elements of terror which came in the world at different points in time. And so this is very, very important that in 9/11, global war on terror was launched, and this global war on terror, it's in 2001, dear friends, you have to remember this, 2001 is this date for 9/11, the global war on terror called Operation Enduring Freedom. And then 1993 to 2001 is the Bill Clinton's tenure. Then we have to relate this to hegemony. And when we are relating it to hegemony, what happens is very, very important to understand that when we talk of a country which has acquired so much of power. Now, all of us people in the world, maybe people or in the country's level, they acquire power. Now, to acquire power, it is a struggle. You will agree with me that it is a struggle for power. And when it is a struggle for power, what is very, very important is that who is coming at the top of the pack. I am not saying by hook or by crook America has acquired it. That is why this topic itself, US hegemony, the title given is US hegemony in world politics. Now in exam also, this topic, as the previous two topics, the Cold War and the second topic, end of bipolarity, included for 5 marks in the public board examination. Likewise, this particular topic, the US hegemony, is also included for 5 marks. And in that topic, the favorite of the examiner, the favorite of the paper setter rather, will be the 9/11 global war on terror and how America launched Operation Enduring Freedom. Now again, from the examination point of view, I will just throw some light on what is global war on terror. See, we have just taken a stock of 1993 to 2001. President Clinton is in office. Okay? And in 2001, when President Clinton's presidency is over, because in America, you know, dear friends, you must be knowing, you are excellent students of political science. Okay? You must be knowing that after 2001, America had a change of guard. For 8 years, there was the rule of the Democratic Party. It was followed in 2001, November elections, by the victory of George Bush, whose father was also the President of America earlier, from 1989 to 1993, Senior Bush. He was the President of America from 1989 to 1993, when we had the Operation Desert Storm. You will bear me out on this. Yeah. And when we are discussing the global war on terror 2001, so we are coming to the fag end of 2001, and 2002 onwards, the new President of America comes into saddle. His name is George Bush. He is the son of the earlier Mr. Bush, who headed America for 4 years from 89 to 93. And from 2001 to 2009, we had his son becoming the President of America. So this global war on terror, which is a favorite of the paper setter in exam, as we have called it Operation Enduring Freedom. What happened in that? We have to note. You must have heard that in the world during this time, as I have just told you, the name of one militant organization in the world over, Al-Qaeda. You must have also heard of a word called Taliban. Now, these Taliban forces were very active in Afghanistan. And Taliban means it is sort of a dictatorial system they have, which has taken Afghanistan back by lots of years, you see. So, in this Operation Enduring Freedom, which Global War on Terror launched, after the America's sovereignty was threatened, dear friends, this very, very important part of the entire topic, 9/11 Global War on Terror, is important because this attack took place at around 9 a.m. Indian Standard Time, 9 a.m. American Standard Time. And this was, India is 9.5 hours ahead of American capital, Washington, D.C. So, India it was around 6 p.m., America it was around 9 a.m. when offices were not full with people. Why I am saying this? You just imagine the condition. If these 9/11 planes, as I have just mentioned some time back, they came and attacked the Twin Towers, America's economic nerve center. Okay? Now America has built again. There is a ground zero, they call it. They have built again in New York. Also the America's defense headquarters, Pentagon, where the American Defense Secretary sits, that building was attacked. And as I have just mentioned to you, another fourth plane which was targeted for the Capitol Hill building where the US Parliament, see in US Parliament they call US Congress, the senators, the House of Representatives and the Senate, they sit. It was targeted for that, but it missed its target, fortunately, and landed in Pennsylvania jungle there. And then America launched this Operation Enduring Freedom. They went to Afghanistan and they finished this, they ended the Talibani rule there, over there, and they managed to pulverize or neutralize, we say in military terms, neutralize. They neutralized the threat to America because, dear friends, this particular decade, from 90s decade as we call it, just before the beginning of the new millennium, that is the 2000 onwards, you see, America was attacked. See, you just try to understand, dear friends, as you are with me this day on Prudent Media, okay, to Prudent Scholars is the program. You just try to take into account, if America can be attacked, which is the world's sole superpower at this point in time, if America can be attacked, is any other country safe in military terms? You will be pondering now, thinking in your drawing rooms or wherever you are on your television set, okay, or on your YouTube channel, you are watching us. This Operation Enduring Freedom was launched. Freedom. Now you all know that how precious is freedom. When you are trying to attack the world's leading superpower, that is the United States of America, will the Americans keep quiet? What happened, what followed was the ending of the terror, so to say, of the Talibani forces and the Al-Qaeda. Because America went in different regions of the world and they, with accuracy, they finished the terror elements, be it in Afghanistan or be it in any other part of the world. Taliban prominent and Al-Qaeda. These are the two prominent organizations which were attacked, which were destroyed by American forces. Okay, then we are talking about a very important term here, hegemony. Now, this term hegemony also is a very, very important term because the topic itself depends on, hinges on this. The topic hinges on this, and in hegemony, you will be wondering as to why America became so strong. See, everybody wants to go to America, no? Now, this is a pandemic time, but it's called, America is called the land of dreams. You know, land of dreams. You will bear me out that in 2009, President of America was Barack Obama. Now you see, he was a black person. And he became the President of America. He became a black man in a White House. White House is the official residence of the American president. You all know this. You have seen the White House, it is in Washington DC. And Pundits gave very less chance for Obama to become president. They said there would not be any black person in the White House till 2050 AD. But all Pundits were proved wrong. And a black man, a very good orator from Chicago city of Illinois state in United States, he became the President of America in 2009. Now, why I have told this by just digressing is because you will all bear me out that America is a land of dreams. So, in this context now, we will try to understand American hegemony. See, American hegemony can be learned in three different ways: hard power, structural power, soft power. Now, when you talk about hard power, it's a military power, structural power, economic, soft power, cultural, ideology. We'll try to deal each one separately. Now, when we talk about hard power of America, the military power, the military might of America. See, you all know that America has the military arsenal, which the next 15 countries, if you put together, they don't have that arsenal. So America has got such a big arsenal of weapons. So it has got military power. So hard power. So when you have the military power, you get a better bargaining counter. You know what is a bargaining counter? In international affairs, when we are discussing international affairs, it is a good bargain counter. You stand, two people are sitting and discussing, they are bargaining on things. America has an upper hand. So America has acquired that capacity, sophistication it's called in English. It has acquired sophisticated nuclear weapons. And you know, America has got, dear friend, all the types of the latest guns, the latest tanks, battle tanks, and you know, even the latest missiles. That is not part of our discussion. But you all should know the meaning of the word hard power, the military power. Okay, when we talk about the hard power, we also include so many other things, you know. See now, right now you are watching me giving this discourse on prudent media, okay, in Prudent Scholars. Do you know what is facilitating this? Have you heard of, you must have heard, you are young people, www, World Wide Web, we better know as internet. This is America's gift to the world. Okay, internet for services. So it gets a good bargaining power, hard power. So this is the first one. Structural power, economic power. Now, you see, in this world, one who has the financial power, म्हणजे vitamin M म्हणता, or vitamin म्हणता थोडे, vitamin M. So you have the vitamin, you become strong, no? Now in this pandemic, people are saying you take vitamins, your immunity will grow. तुझी प्रतिकार शक्ती वाढतली, your immunity will grow, people say, correct? Yes or no? Yes, you are saying, yeah. So your immunity will increase, so you take vitamins, you take vitamin C, your dose will be, you will be getting more immunity. So now what is structural power of America? Economic power. Now you see, dear friends, India, a developing country, slowly becoming a developed country now. It has to take loan, it has to take aid, economic aid. Where it will go? Where it will go? Where in bank it will go? Country, India, it will go to bank? Yes. Which bank it will go? World Bank. Okay? The World Bank, which is in Washington. Okay? The World Bank, it's another name is there. International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. Okay? So, it will go to the World Bank, okay, and it will ask for loan over there. Second, it will also go to the IMF, International Monetary Fund. This is yet another organization which is giving economic aid. Now there are two organizations, just we have taken names, one is IMF and one is the World Bank. Now both these organizations are controlled by America. See, because from where will the money come? Suppose India wants some $1,000 million for its poverty alleviation, okay, or for its education program, or for health programs, any program, it goes to the World Bank. Okay, World Bank gives loan, and there is repayment and all those things. And there is International Monetary Fund, IMF is there. IMF is giving a short-term loan to restructure the economy of the country. Suppose there is a war, civil war, or due to some reason, due to a bad monsoon perhaps, your economy is in doldrums, economy is not, is economy becoming stagnant. Okay, when economy becomes stagnant, you have to take the IMF route. Now why I have mentioned both these organizations is economic, they are called international financial institutions. Now, when you are mentioning the international financial institutions, who controls them? Very important. Very important. From exam point of view, you write these names, World Bank and IMF, you get full marks. International Monetary Fund, the World Bank. But who controls them, dear friends? United States of America is the control, US. And this is the structural power. Because US is giving money for these organizations to grow. Okay, because there are so many countries in the world which require finances. The third world countries. Now there is no third world, dear friends. I mean, at this point in time, there was no third world. There was the first world and the rest of the world. Because second world is finished, no? There is no communist countries. They are there, but they don't have that alliances and all. So it is America, the first world, and the third world countries. So their countries, who will provide them economic aid? IMF, World Bank. So they are coming under the economic control of United States. You should know. From where we are getting. See, my dear friends, again I will just try to explain little different. You know the world's, some of you might be learning economics as well. Learn the learned currency of the world, the topmost currency of the world today is the American dollar. You must have seen, or after this class on Google you can see how a dollar looks like. $1 note, $2, $5 note, 10 whatever dollars. So you see our rupee and American dollar cannot compete. See, we have to make our rupee compete against the American dollar. Yes or no? Yes, you are saying. Okay. So American dollar and the Indian rupee. So whenever we go to the IMF or World Bank, we have to get the America's sanction. See, there is a board of directors which sanctions the amount, but which country sanctioning authority is not America, no doubt, America, but the sanctioning authority is controlled by America. Because America has the maximum stake in the IMF and the World Bank. So, this is the second one, structural power. Third is the soft power, the cultural or ideological power, soft power. Now, when we talk about soft power, what comes into picture, dear friends? When we talk about the soft power, what comes into picture? Soft power, soft manta ami taka. What comes in the picture? Soft power. Can you tell me? Culture, jeans. You are wearing jeans, all of you. Jeans. The American culture, Sanskruti Amerikechi. America is trying to project its Sanskritic culture all over the world. And young people, and even some not so young people, they prefer jeans. They prefer t-shirt. Cool, manta. Sir, you become cool, sir. Cool, sir. Cool, cool. What is this cool? Soft power. So when young people, see now India is a country of young people. 65% of India is below 35 years of age. You know that very well. 65% is below 35. So India is a young country. So India is the cynosure of all eyes. All countries look at India with awe. India, young people, young population is there. So let us target India. So soft power America is trying to capture. America is having this soft power, and this soft power is also the ideological power. Capitalism. Capitalism. See, in the beginning of the class, I told you, or we discussed rather, America is a land of dreams, Mono. Swapna. See, there is that city called New York. It is called the Big Apple. Big Apple. The city which never sleeps, Mandataka, New York. It is in America. United Nations organization, which we have made a mention of in this topic, and we will be taking it up in the subsequent topics. United Nations office, headquarters, it is in New York, big building, you can see it on the internet. Some of the things I am not showing you, dear friends. You please do it, you please see it on the internet. You please see it, because internet also is a gift by America to the world. Okay, so once again, for our friends, question in exam may be tuned as to what is hard power of America, what is the structural power, or what is the soft power of America. And these three powers make America a really powerful hegemonic country, or hegemon, dominance. It is trying to dominate the world during this phase. Dear friends, we are learning it during this phase, 1990s phase, and the beginning of the new millennium, 2001 millennium. Okay, that is the, and we have seen today, right now, Operation Desert Storm, okay, Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Infinite Reach, Operation Iraqi Freedom. Any one of these also appears in the exam paper. Maybe this appearing as an objective MCQ question, okay, or maybe a 2-mark question or a 3-mark short answer question. Now we have to see, are there any, this is the fag end of the topic now, we have come at the fag end of the topic, just 2 more sub-units to be discussed now. One is, what are the restraints or constraints on American hegemony? See, America, can it colonize the world now? No. It can colonize only in terms of economic power, not in terms of political power. See, you'll all agree with me, that maximum multinational corporations, they have their head office where? In America. Head office in America, headquarters of multinational companies is in America. So like that, it acquires that power. So when we talk about what are the constraints on American hegemony, see, America is not a dictatorship. America is a democracy. So when America is a democracy, it has legislature, it has executive, and it has judiciary, and it has media also. So these are trying to control each other, balance the power, checks and balances of power. So this is one constraint on America. Then there are other constraints also on America with the world at large. See, you all will know from the first topic, let me take you back to the first topic, we had learnt NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. We have learned that. So in North Atlantic Treaty Organization also, the other countries which are there, like for example, Great Britain is there, Germany is there, France is there, Italy is there, her allies. And now so many other allies have joined from Eastern Europe, erstwhile communism states. They will not allow the Americans to be dictatorial that way. So these are the constraints on American hegemony. So there are some checks and balances, because otherwise America can colonize the world. There was a threat during this point in time, this phase. Now the world is moving towards a different direction. We will not discuss that. But at that point, the decade of 90s, when US hegemony was at its pinnacle, means top, control was there. So I just now told you, the control was from the American other organs of the government. The control was from NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Okay, so these were how America was maintained. Otherwise, America would have gone further, because there was no other superpower to counter it. There was United Nations, of course. You will agree with me that there was United Nations. म्हणजे संयुक्त राष्ट्र म्हणतात ताका. And you know, in the Sayukta Rashtra, United Nations, there are more than 190 members, dear friends. Now, but the Security Council, America has the veto, along with 4 others permanent members. Okay, so now the last subunit of this topic on US hegemony is what relations US and India have. Just we will have a passing phase, just a passing reference to this before we conclude this session on the topic. Now, when we talk about America, for India, a country which is 70 plus years independence, and America, which is a country nearly 250 years independent, what happens? We are having our eyes and sights on America, destination. So, what is the relation between USA relationship between, it is a very nice relationship, it's a very cozy relationship, or we are not so friendly with America? We were, because we were discussing this 90s decade. It is not the contemporary, it is not the present one, the 90s decade. You have to remember. So, there are different areas wherein our young people are going to America. See, now, you know, Indians are considered to be brainy. All of us are brainy people. All Indians, hushar lok amche. But where are we heading towards? America. See, now I'll tell you, in Silicon Valley, Munasa, Silicon Valley, the IT capital of the world, Manta. Silicon Valley, maximum people are from India. If you consider the developing countries, they are in Silicon Valley. So all these names, if I take, which are not part of our syllabus actually, okay, Sundar Pichai and others, all you know, you are experts in IT, all young people are experts in IT. So, as I just said, in Silicon Valley, maximum Indian people are going, young people are going, and they are making their mark in Silicon Valley. Now, in other companies, there is a MNC multinational called Boeing company. तुम्ही ऐकलं असतील नाव Boeing. Now in Boeing company, so many Indians engineers are there. Okay, so that is another. Then third one, which now our government and Prime Minister talks in terms of startups. तुम्ही हे नाव ऐकलं असतले. Startups. Now startups वेगळे वेगळे हातून असता. In different areas there are startups. Now startups also in America, they are giving a lot of emphasis to startup. In America they were doing startups in the decade of 90s as we are discussing. So for these startups also Indians are there. So India has got a good relationship with US in 1990s because as we will take a stock now, you will also be keen to refresh your memory. When 1990, the decade began, it began with the establishment of a new world order, new international economic order, new world order. Then Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait when he was dragged out of Kuwait and peacefully, and it was called Operation Desert Storm, first Gulf War. Followed by, this we will take later, this particular we will take later, the emergence of Bill Clinton. Because Bill Clinton emerged in the White House as the President of America in 93 after quite a lot of time Republican rule in the White House. There was President Ronald Reagan for 8 years, followed by President Bush. Okay, then President Clinton. His rule was marked by this terror sort of thing, and then American embassies were attacked, as we just discussed, in Africa. And America also went after these people, terrorist people organization called Al-Qaeda and others, and dismantled them successfully. America only could have done it, and it did. And then it was called Operation Infinite Reach. See, the word is used, infinite. It's a word, it is in maths, dear friends, infinite, finite numbers. But political science and the word aha. Infinite, finite, infinite. Infinite reach. So America kadeti infinite reach asa. Okay? And then we saw this 9/11, 2001. It should read here. It should read here 2001. This should read here 2001. There was the global war on terror. Global war on terror. Because America, see, when a country's democracy, you are attacking the world's only superpower, you are having to face for it. You will have to face for it. So then what happened was, global war was launched. Global war was launched, and the president was President Bush after Clinton. So there was this operation wherein Operation Enduring Freedom, Al-Qaeda was dismantled also, and also Taliban in Afghanistan. They were brought to book. With America arsenal, nobody can compete in 1990s. Okay. Then in 93, this was during the time of Clinton, there was an invasion, Iraqi invasion, because Iraq had already made Kuwait here, Kuwait. So Iraqi invasion, President Saddam Hussein was in Iraq. And that weapons of mass destruction, WMDs म्हणतात ताका. And a report was given by International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA. Report was given to the UN saying that Iraq may have weapons of, actually didn't have anything. But Iraq was destroyed, completely destroyed, and Saddam Hussein was captured by United States. So that is this. And then we saw how the hegemony here, hegemony of America, it cannot be, how it became so powerful. With its hard power, with its structural power, it is soft power. Hard power means military power. Military means nuclear arsenal, guns, armaments and all. Structural, economic power means control in the World Bank, control in the IMF, the world in leading agencies of the world, financial, and soft power is a cultural or ideological. Just now we have seen the power of internet the power of internet, the power of the world wide web म्हणता आम्ही. From the world. Now, due to this pandemic, you see now, everybody cannot meet each other physically, personally, and have to go on virtual platforms. Okay, different platforms are there, you know them very well. You must also be doing that those platforms thing. Okay, so this was the unit called US Hegemony in World Politics. Now, dear friends, just to sum up the three chapters, units which have been done so far in these last 3 sessions, okay, just to refresh your memory so that whenever the public examination is held by the board, you can pocket 15 marks easily. And whenever the formative is held, maybe 3 to 4, whatever marks. But you should be satisfied that your learning outcomes have been achieved. And at this juncture, 3 units. First is the Cold War era. Second was the end of bipolarity. And third, US hegemony in world politics. Now, 3 more units are yet to come. We will be discussing those units with you in the subsequent sessions. But at this juncture, dear friends, you have to do one thing. You have to go through this particular, all these 3 units in this particular book. That's the Contemporary World Politics. Okay? Contemporary world politics is the politics after 1945. That is the end of the Second World War. Okay? And now we have reached up to 1993 we did, and we went up to 2001, the global war on terror. So in the upcoming sessions, we will be throwing light on other aspects, alternate centers of power, okay, international organizations. Okay, that will clear the air for you, and you will be surely possessed with lot of knowledge on this subject. This is your host, Naguesh Sardessai, saying bye-bye for this moment, for this session. That was a session on US world politics. Until next time, see you. Namaskar.
Prudent Scholars, powered by Lupin Pharmaceuticals.